One thing that I realized about how our internal thoughts create the reality, like actual material reality, is that once you start doing stuffs, like you first have to do stuffs to in order to think. That's how I see now. I used to try to make sense of the things that I'm gonna do in advance so that I can have this detailed plans of what I'm gonna do, what I'm gonna accomplish, or what I'm gonna do, how I'm going to achieve this thing by doing what X, Y, and Z, like until what period of time, like what date, so that I can like follow this plan like step by step, and I'll be able to do it like easier and more consistently, since I have a plan. And I think that it's completely not true. It's totally just not true at all. The more I just start doing stuffs instead of thinking, like I would just wake up, like I started, okay, the first thing that I want to say about, like, talk about, like, just having a daily routine and like the difference between keep on pondering, overthinking, and thinking about doing things, telling people, like, promising yourself, like, oh, I hate you, like, I hate you so much for not doing it since, because we had a promise last time and you still brought, you still didn't follow the plans and the things that we promised together, and like I hate you, like I hate myself, the kind of things, like it's all, like I said in one of my previous videos, self-hatred and self-doubting, or yeah, self-doubting itself, like it's kind of like a separate thing, like a very different thing from self-hatred. But hating yourself and keep on thinking about, like, telling yourself is hateful comments about you, like telling like so many negative things about you, just because you didn't like you didn't do, you broke your own, like you broke promises you broke a promise that you promised yourself, that you made with yourself. It's just another way to kind of cope out the situation, so that you can make the same, you can make the same mistake over and over again. And once you just start locking in, like once you just start this, I don't know how to call it, switch to this simple mode, simple brain mode, you just start acting just like how people in social media. I saw this one time. I saw this one real last time about retard maxing. I'm not swearing. Like I mean, just the name itself is retard maxing, and the point is, you just do it, you just act without thinking. So, and since the world rewards action instead of intelligence or thinking, you're always going to have at least something going on. Like you're going to get a result about the things that you've been doing for the past a couple of months or a couple of weeks. You got 60 in this test. Okay, you got the grade. You analyze it and see what you can improve on, and you just move on. But that move on doesn't mean like you don't even give a fuck kind of thing, like what we, at least, I don't know, any of you at least once did in your life back then when you were in doing school, or right now you are, I don't know, a junior high student or a college student or whatever, wherever you are, like you have this feeling of, I don't really care, but you actually care, but like about that one test upcoming, but you have to give it up since you indulge yourself and you hung out with your friends, or you just play video games, and or you just try to avoid it. But and you ended up, like, the thing about avoiding stuffs, avoiding things that you have to do, you have to do, is that it ends up creating this in it's like planting a seed inside your head, and you think that it's gone. You just pretend like you don't see that, like, oh, it's gone, I don't care about it. But at the end, you have to cut down that tree one day. You have to take out all the roots, and you have to take out that cancer inside your head out. Like you have to solve that problem, or else it's just gonna get grow bigger and bigger, and one day it's gonna become a part of you, and you won't even notice it. It's even worse. And most of the times, I like, so the main point I'm trying to make in this video is that I still am one, but I used to be this, like you guys could clearly see from my early videos. I mean, it kind of sounds weird. I mean, kind of funny since my YouTube channel is only like a month old, so there really isn't point of like old videos. But I still am a person who tries to make sense of things before doing. Like I question, as you guys clearly can see, I question a lot. I used to think about being conscious isn't particularly you being smart, but you're just knowing things, and you just know about one thing that most of people don't really think about. But that doesn't make you smart, because if you were smart, you would have been able to use that to your advantage. Like you could have, you wouldn't have been eaten by by that knowledge. That's what I'm trying to say. So when I consider myself being aware of the things around me and myself, and I self reflect a lot and try to have like just sit with my thoughts as long possible time as I can when I have time to throughout the day, I thought that was something good thing to think a lot about my things going on, like the things that I'm dealing with, and the path that I'm trying to take on, like, oh, is this gonna work out? No, like, seriously, okay, let's talk about this, like, let's see this, like, realistically, or kind of things. And one thing I realized right now is that once you just start acting instead of thinking, once you just start putting into actions, actual actions, and have this delusional, I would just say it like the kind of like believing in cancer, the star, how do we call it, like astrology, is it? I actually don't know exactly the name of it, but like the majority of students are mostly girls, young girls. I'm not bashing on girls. There are things that boys, like men like me, who are who get really like, they are parts of us, like weaknesses of men and weaknesses of women in particularly. And that doesn't mean like you because since girls get into those kind of scams or kind of like witchcraft things a lot, I sound like I'm bashing on girls particularly, but like in this case I kind of am, like I'm just saying for the context. But yeah, kind of sidetrack, but like the point is, once you have this kind of some like self belief inside you, that just doesn't make sense, but you don't even like go over it. You don't even think about it. You don't even try to analyze it. It's just there silently, not being noticed by yourself, since we all are just observers of our own thoughts. Think like thoughts can just come direct. How do I say, like, it just happens to you, thoughts from your past experiences, traumas, or the mood that you are in, biological things. I can't explain how, but like it just happens. And you are the one who observes those thoughts. And you can control what to take and what to stop, taking in. You can limit your own thoughts. And the best way to do it, the best way to kind of be the I'm not saying like fuck you happiness, work, 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 kind of like Alex Hormozy kind of dude, but more like trying to operate in a way that you just kill all the kind of negative thoughts that comes into your head, and start operating in a way that you just believe in yourself, and you don't even realize that you are believing in yourself, since you have, I mean, you obviously need actions in order to believe in yourself. But this is another thing, like kind of hypothesis that I have toward lots of like devoted religious people, or people who just have this seriously deep sense of belief in something, is that they have something going on, like something had to must have happened in their life at some period of their life, that one event kind of changed how they think or how they saw that one thing, and got them into religion, or this the belief, or made build themselves build how build the version of themselves right now. And that's exactly what I'm talking about, like actions just creating results, and you just see how much you are closer to, like, you just you can just see like where you are, at what level you are, in what level you are. So what happens is you just keep on acting and acting, like you just keep on stacking up this like day by day, and you just start seeing, you just stop questioning yourself anymore, and that kind of gives you it fits your delusional thinking of like there's nothing that can stop me. I can control this, like I've got this. But again, it's not like actual thinking going on. It just happens, like you just have it inside you. And like put it simple, I think like you just have to have this like big dream inside you, a big dream, big pursuit that you have, but keeping everything in simple way. And in order to keep things simple, you just need to start doing the thing instead of thinking, since when you're not doing, that's when you keep on overthinking and pondering about the thing, like about doing the thing, or about how I'm gonna do the thing. Like just like imagining things while not doing is just the same as people who aren't putting in efforts at all, like doing nothing while keep like hoping for the best. Like I just feel like that's how gamblers brain works. Like they just think that they deserve it because they bet like high enough to the point like they're gonna lose their job, or like they're gonna lose all the money that they currently have. But like I deserve it, it's just possibility, like I can do this. Not that kind of belief, you get what I mean. It's more like you stop you start thinking in ways that just assures your belief. The more you keep on, like the more actions you put in. And I think that's just the best way to live your life, regardless of it being truth or not. And I know the downsides of it, like the kind of, I'm not gonna disregard and not, I'm not gonna like pretend like I don't see those people who constantly been like actually trying for so long time, but they got broken. Like they got completely destroyed and defeated by this thing that they were like the pursuit that they were pursuing. And I like it's just such a tragedy. And like the worst thing, like the saddest thing that that I think it is like being destroyed by something that you love. Because like I kind of understand how it feels, since I used to love basketball. I don't know if I ever talked about it in my videos. Basketball, League of Legends, like actually League of Legends became my thing the moment I couldn't play basketball anymore. Like it's not like I couldn't, but like I physically couldn't. I psychologically couldn't. I didn't see progress at all throughout months and possibly like a year. Like I just had this I hit this wall inside my brain of being an observer of my own actions. Like so whenever I played back then, I didn't just play the basketball. Instead of I constantly was trapped inside my brain thinking like, oh, I could have done that, I could have done that, like it's all my fault, my team are losing my because of me. Like like taking all the responsibilities to yourself so that you feel like you can control it, you can control the situation. But that's actually not just true. Like there clearly were some mistakes that I make, but like you get like what I'm trying to say. Like those people, even LeBron James, or like those top players make mistakes. Well, how the clear distinction between me back then, I probably still am, but like me back then and those top players are that they don't think about those things at all. I'm not saying like they don't self reflect and try to improve, but more like they just simply act first, do, and like at the end, okay, I see those like that those five things were clearly my mistake. And okay, I made some more like consistently lately, and I'll probably need to work on that, that kind of thing. So like I'm not obviously um disregarding genetic factors and all the kind of things like like how lucky you should be in order to be the top NBA player, the kind of things. But at the same time, I feel like psychology, like this brain thing, really hits you really hard. It's the biggest fear, or like it's the biggest thing that you'll have to deal with whenever you are trying to be good at something. And that's why I came to this conclusion of you just have to put everything. everything as simple as possible. And in order to do so, you just got to keep on throwing shots and stop being an observer of your own actions. You as I said before, actually that came from my past experience of late how do I say, like late the moment, like a couple of months before I actually quit basketball, because as I said, I started being an observer of my own plays instead of actually playing the game. And but what happens is that you lose agency, you lose control. Like the biggest, what I call agency is like the highest form of attention, and the goal isn't just to act, but disappear into action. I'm sure everyone can understand. Everyone has been through disappearing, like actually experiencing disappearing into action. Like while you do something, you just become with that one thing. It's like you versus you and that one thing, and everything feels like you just become so oblivious, and you check the time and like 5 hours pass just like that. And I needed that thing to actually become better, but I just stopped like stopped operating in that way once I hit that wall. And I know it sucks, but like what I'm trying to do, that's why I'm trying to like learn like teach myself to operate in a way much simpler and effective. Like eff- efficiency over truth. I think that's what I'm trying to say, regardless of it being truth or not. And just like how I talked about in one of my previous late videos about like religious, how religion can benefit us, and or any kind of beliefs that like that's just so delusional in a sense, but you just like it works for you, so it doesn't matter at all. As long as you're not harassing anyone, you can be actually like you can just like talk to yourself actually that you can do this regardless of what happened, like regardless of any like odds that are against you, or even if you were even if like these kind of things happen, like you can still manage it. Like I think like I feel like we humans weren't supposed to our brains weren't supposed to think about all the things that's going on inside our head. Like I really don't think consciousness isn't a gift. It's just something that you get it, you find it, you discover it through countless of self arguing, debating, and adopting, self hatred as well. Like all these negative things, and that at the end, there's this consciousness, and I just don't think that that's something good. So again, yeah, have big dreams and put them as simple as possible. That's the takeaway of this video. Thank you for watching.